How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today I want to bring along with me to talk about the low light capabilities of the Sony A7 IV with the Tamron 20-40mm. So let's jump right into it. I've been using the 20-40 by Tamron quite a bit now, and I love it that it's a 2.8 lens. And that's one of the reasons why I went with this one rather than the Sony that's a 20-70 f4. The great thing about this lens is that it's really phenomenal when it comes down to having a lot lower light capabilities without having to sacrifice too much, especially because you get the zoom range and you're able to still keep a 2.8 instead of maybe like a prime lens where it could be a 1.8 or anything like that. You still can do pretty great stuff when it comes down to low light capabilities. The Sony A7 IV is a great camera when it comes down to low light capabilities, so paired up with this lens just made a lot of sense for me to be able to go out to create, especially if I'm doing kind of vlogging styles or anything that requires just a little bit of B-roll or any footage that I want to take when it comes down to a range of 20-40. I usually use my 35-150 for a lot of the B-roll and other focal ranges that I need, but having a 20-40 at f2.8 is really great because despite of the 35-150 having an f2 to 2.8, the f2.8 of this lens is really great because I can do a lot of stuff with low light capabilities that even with a prime lens that you might have a stop more to be able to kind of go for low light, I'm able to have just one lens to kind of do everything that I need to without having to switch in and out with prime lenses. Cameras nowadays have really great low light capabilities, and as we know, Sony is known for having good low light capabilities, so I'm not too worried when it comes down to pairing this together to be able to capture some nice clean footage. You saw a bit of the footage that I was able to take using this setup just walking around. I was obviously shooting only at 24 frames per second, but despite of that, I was still having really good clean images and great colors and everything that I thought it was just a great setup overall to be able to just do video if you're trying to do at night or anything like that. I shot it in the Picture 11 profile, which is the S Cinetone when it came down to the low light kind of footage that I was able to take. Sometimes and most of the time I tend to shoot with my S-Log 3, and I do with my Sony A7S III most of the time because I can do the 12,800 ISO just to be in that kind of like dual native ISO that's not so dual native, since this one only goes to a 3200. But since you have to accommodate with kind of doing like a 1.3 to 1.7 like exposure up like in the plus range, I didn't want to do that, and I wanted to kind of test out the Cinetone since I haven't really messed with it too much, and I thought it was kind of cool to put it through the testing. One thing that I really enjoyed is just the colors just look great. There wasn't really much green at all. Even if I was shooting at an ISO of 2000 to 4000 range, I wasn't really kind of playing by rules of like I can only stay in this range or not. I just wanted to go ahead and shoot anything that felt cool to me and use some of the light that was around me to capture whatever I could. Now, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody saying, oh no, but it's not true low light because there's lights around you and there's still more than enough light. Well, yes and no. I mean, the whole point of low light is because there's not enough light. It's dark time outside. I'm using whatever lights I can find around me, and I'm able to just take photos and videos that way and use the lighting that's available to me to my advantage. I don't think anybody's going to be shooting in pitch dark, not even in the movies, like in your, shows, even like Game of Thrones when it was too dark. Never really cared for watching it, but it was fairly dark out there. I'm pretty sure they weren't just shooting in the plain old dark, even though it might have looked like that. A lot of these, shots that are like in low light is because there's just limited light. So that's one of the things I want to like let people know, because I know I'm always going to get somebody to kind of comment saying like, oh, but there were so many lights around you. I'm like, well, I'm using what light is available to me when we were shooting in a dark time because it was late at night. So we just went ahead and did some footage with the low light capabilities to see how well it would pair up with the Tamron 20-40 and the Sony A7 IV. But what did you think about the footage, and how did you think the lens performance was when it came down to this and the Sony A7 IV together? Did you think there was a clean image? Obviously with the YouTube compression might be a little bit iffy, but you're able to kind of just see a little bit of what I was able to create with it, since most people will honestly just view it on their phone or maybe a computer screen. You're able to still see that it looks pretty fairly good. I mean, to me, I thought it looked phenomenal, and the colors with it and everything, low light just worked out perfectly, even with shooting at a higher ISO. And I could have probably done more higher ISO if I wanted to go for different routes, but I didn't really need to, luckily, because I try to use as much light around me, so it just made sense. This has been a really good setup to shoot with 20-40, especially for any of my vlogging needs or any kind of just on the go going, because I can take some good photos, I can do some video, whatever I need to, and keep it with one body, especially if I pair it with my Sony A7 IV to do a little bit of hybrid shooting. So that's what I just wanted to kind of try out with this lens setup and see if I could do it for more of a nighttime shoot, since most of the time my Sony A7S III is the one that I tend to shoot with at night because of, well, the higher, you know, ISO that I can go with. Just makes more sense to me. But overall, I thought it was a great image. What did you think about it? Let me know down below. We'd love to know your thoughts, and if there's anything that you would like me to test out with this camera setup with the lens and or my 35-150, make sure to give me some ideas down below. Would love to try them out to see if it helps you out with your decisions, if this is the right setup for you. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.